Yep.
Okay. All right, excellent. Okay. Yeah. First off, I just wanted to take a minute and just thank you guys for coming to this. Chris, please keep your jokes till the end of the session. No, I really do appreciate you guys coming out. Otherwise, I would be sitting here talking to myself. I want to say hi to the two new folks we have. Is it Emma and Dwayne? Just started today. I want to invite you guys just so you can meet a few people in the room, just to get a little introduction to something that we kind of touch on and around here. Um, if you guys don't know who I am, I'm Dan Louks. I've been working at Endevis now for about, I think it's about 15 months. I've been doing sourcing and RPO work for about 3 years, and I just enjoy like the technology portion of this. So I just talked to leadership, and they thought it'd be a cool idea if I just got to share some of the stuff that I learn on a day-to-day basis. And I thought a good place to start would be with Chrome extensions, just because it's not, unique to sourcing. It could be helpful for everybody. It's even on your personal life. They're really cool to have on hand. They can make your life a lot easier. So, yeah, things that we wanted to talk about. Beginning with the simple and obvious question: what are Chrome extensions? Then we'll take a look at different types of extensions that are available. And once you start getting kind of a group of extensions that you use, it's actually a good idea to start having a way of organizing them and turning them on and off. So we'll check out a couple of tools for that as well. And then I'm going to share my top 10 extensions that I use most often. And I think they're all relevant, even for just personal use sometimes for some of them. And yeah, I forgot to ask you guys. I was going to ask you guys if you had any candidates that you were looking to try to find their or contact information. Do you happen to have
If
anybody?
you want to pull up PCI, I have that for you.
Okay. Yeah, I wanted to try out one of these or a couple of these extensions and see if we could find somebody's contact info using one of these, because that's one of the types of extensions we'll talk about. So yeah, and other than that, we're just going to ask some questions and answers if anybody has them. So, what is a Chrome extension? According to Google, it's just a small software program that can modify and enhance the functionality of a Chrome browser. In other words, it's just a free tool that you can download and makes everyday tasks easier and faster. It's pretty much that simple. It's not as fancy as they make it sound. It's just a little tiny thing that you add onto your browser. Like, actually, out of the room, who already knows what extensions are? A couple that don't. No?
Me, kind of.
Okay. Yeah, if you're not familiar, when you download extensions, they actually show up right here on your toolbar in Chrome. And I have a lot. I think Chris has a lot too. But we'll kind of get into that too as well. What's that? Yeah, I think they're awesome. And I kind of wanted to just jump into where you find them. It's the Chrome store. This is just the main landing page where you'd come in and find everything. It's got it broken down. I'm always using it for extensions or apps, but they've got other things that you can download. And this is where you can search by the different categories that are available. Most of the ones that I use fall under productivity or search tools, but there's a lot of other ones out there that are just useful all around. Let's see. So yeah, the different types that they have, accessibility, that stuff mainly pertains to like setting site restrictions, adjusting display settings, things like that. Blogging is kind of self-explanatory, but you can kind of save and post articles with like a few clicks. Proofreading tools, font finders, things like that. Developer tools are kind of similar, but they can get a little bit more in depth where you're actually doing like programming, things like that, a little bit beyond me. They've got ones that are just for fun. I actually have one that's called Encage, and it turns every image on a page into Nicolas Cage. So, I mean, it's important ones like that you should have on hand. No. But yeah, the rest of them are pretty straightforward. Obviously, I'm not going to read through all of them because it's pretty straightforward. So, yeah, once that we've once you started gathering a few of these, once we started going over what you can find out there, it's actually a good idea to have an extension for your extensions, which sounds ridiculous, but it does make your life a lot easier. Do you have one of these, Chris, or no? Or is it just, do you have a whole bunch?
I just have a whole bunch.
Okay. So this might actually help you. There's two main ones, but there's a bunch of choices out there. The one that I personally use is called Extensity. And once again, everything, I'm going to send this presentation to everybody that took part in this. And it has links, direct links to everything. Everything's hyperlinked, so you can go right to it and download it if you'd like. But Extensity, what it basically does is it'll put all of your extensions into a list here. And you can actually just either manually go through and turn on and off whatever you want on or off. Or you can actually have like presets up here. Like I have one for contact info, so it'll turn on all my contact retrieving extensions. I put one on ludicrous speed if you're a Spaceballs fan or were born probably prior to the 1980s.
Why are you looking at me?
You seem like a comedy fan, I don't know.
I feel like you were born in the 80s.
Ludicrous speed, basically, that's full speed. Like I just have, it turns everything on. But the reason I don't like to do that often is because I have so many that it will slow down your browser. So it's not something that you kind of want to go full speed all the time if you have a ton of them. But I did want to show that Extensity is a good one. That's the one I personally use. And then there's also, it's called Switcher, Extensions Manager, aka Switcher. It's just not as, I don't know, visually pleasing. It's a little bit more like primitive looking, I guess, but it is just as functional, and it's got a lot of cool stuff you can change on there too. It's just kind of a matter of preference. And there's, like I said, tons of options. These are just what I would consider like the top two. So yeah, now that we've kind of gone over the basics, I was just going to share 10 of my, collection that I think would be most relevant to everyone in the room. Doesn't matter if you're a recruiter or sourcer. Some of these, again, could be just used in personal life. Bitly, who's aware of what Bitly is or what a URL shortener is? It's okay if you don't. Cool. Basically, yeah. Bitly is just a service where you can take, like, say you have a direct URL link to an apply page for one of your positions, and you want to send it to somebody, but it's like 3 lines long and a bunch of characters and stuff. You can copy and paste that into this service, and it'll pop out short ones like this here. And what you can actually do is, if you wanted to personalize it, you can actually click edit and change the end of it to say security officer Las Vegas and save it. I mean, chances are you got to find ones that are already taken, but if it's available, you can actually personalize these to whatever you want, as long as it's available. And once you actually use these, it'll actually allow you to track the usage of the link. So say if you were going to post a link to one of your open jobs to like a Facebook page or something, you could actually come in here, click into the link that you shared, and it'll show how many clicks you're getting by day. It'll actually tell you by source. So if you put it on Facebook and LinkedIn, if you find that 90% of them are coming from Facebook and 10% from LinkedIn, you could probably stop using LinkedIn for that type of position. So it's good to know. It's a little bit of insight into what's going on the other end. And just basically, it just looks better, all around, instead of having some large, obnoxious URL. Next is Contactout. And this one it falls under the category of finding contact information. And right now, I think this is the best one that's out there. Since I failed on asking somebody to bring in an example, we can actually just try it out on somebody. You want me to?
I don't know if the information's accurate, but go ahead.
Well, we can try it out right now. Let's see.
Yeah,
So let me just make sure it's on. All right, so let's search for Katie Dennis.
oh, yeah, true.
Good
So
point.
Find what about MR Wayne?
Yeah. How do you spell your last name?
DENIS. I. Oh, there you are. I would be amazed how such information can be found.
All right, so right now there's numerous ones running right now, but
Contactout had a little unrolled, I think.
well, let me try reloading here. There we go. So, of course, she failed us. No, kidding. This one didn't come up with anything. Do you actually have it listed anywhere, your email in your profile, to your knowledge?
Probably not.
Okay.
I know.
No, it's fine. But yeah, it doesn't always work. Like, that's the thing with these contact info finding extensions is that's why I have like numerous of these. Some of these will fail, some of them will come through. Like I have this one. This is Lucia. And I am.
Lucia, in my opinion, as a sorcerer, is pretty much garbage. I've never had good luck with Lucia.
I like higher tool.
Yeah, higher tool's way better.
Lucia just gets in my way every time I
Yeah,
do something.
Profit I've had good luck with.
Yeah, we also have higher tool here, which we're going to get to as well. We can actually kind of go out of order. It's not a big deal since we're kind of doing the same thing. But so let's see, failing. Yeah, but you get the basic idea. What would happen is if, say, on the back end, this will be able to detect if you have your email address tied to, like a university or your personal email address. If they can find your work contact information, it'll populate right there. Like we'll actually use myself since I know something will come up. Just so you can actually see it working and not showing blanks. So yeah, that's accurate. So yeah, you can click down and it'll check different, based on my profile information, it'll check all these different domains. Let's see if it'll bring up my Endeavus. And that's correct.
It's really
And it's
hard.
thinking. So yeah, and then see if this will probably pull up my info too. From when I used to work at Pontoon Solutions. So
phone numbers and everything.
yeah, when they're available, it will bring it up.
Yeah, higher tool's pretty cool for, it just kind of depends, I think, on the candidate that you're looking for. Some are a little bit better for higher tool, some are a little better for Contactout. So I personally, when I source, will use both if I can't find
Right.
information.
They have a limit on how many.
Yeah, when you have the free versions of these tools, there are certain ones with limits, but Higher Tool is actually one of them that they just upped it from like 300 to like 10,000. So they're really trying to keep on users right now. Who knows when it'll switch over and become purely about money, which I get it if it's a business, but a lot of these tools will at least give you like a free amount per week or per month that you can use up. And then, if it's actually a useful tool and it is a paid service, that's something we can look into actually paying for here. So it's not out of the question. Just right now in the current market, Contactout, my personal favorite to be the most reliable so far. It's given 2 correct email addresses for me, so I think that's pretty good. Let's see. All right, so data miner. This is actually 2 different extensions that kind of work together. This one will be less for you guys, but more for me, but I just thought it'd be kind of cool to show you guys what is out there and what I kind of use from time to time. So there's one called Recipe Creator and Data Miner, and basically what it'll let you do is it'll let you extract like data from websites. So let's just do, I'm going to show you guys like some pre-made examples that I have of how this works. So let's see, groups. So say I was looking up a candidate and it was going to be beneficial for me to know like every group that they're a part of on Facebook. And this is my work profile, so it's a bunch of employment groups. So what you could do though is, so once you turn these on, I gotta reload. 1 second. Why won't this go away?
I mean, they really mean what they say when they say, be careful what you post on Facebook and say.
Yeah, this might be intense for your first day. What's going on? Bear with me, guys. I got.
Yeah, 'cause a lot of these links will even identify your Facebook profile for them in the links, or your GitHub profile, or your Google Plus profile.
Okay. Is this really happening right now? Oh, here we go. All right, so now that I reloaded it. Okay, so these are ones that I've made here, and I'll show you how it works actually. So say you want to create a new recipe. I already have the recipe creator, so oh, I think it's a little laggy. Hold on. There we go. Okay. So this is where it gets a little technical, and that's why I'm saying it's not really like common usage one, but it's a little bit more for the little techier users. But what you can do is, so you're going to have a list that you want to make out of this information. So you're going to have to go in here and you highlight where all the information is that you want of each. So you come in here and select that, and then you come down here and you have to find, so see how it's highlighting all of them now? Now it's recognizing each one of those as like a row of information. So I've identified what the row is. So now I'm going to show what each column is, or no, row, I'm sorry. So we're going to start with row 1. Wait, go back. So this would be, and sometimes there's like, you got to do some adjusting and so forth to do it. But anyway, you get the point, right? You kind of have to go in, you have to like kind of look at it from like a developer side and choose like the HTML for what you want. But basically, once you get it all figured out and do that, you make these recipes that you can save and just pull up. So say I got exactly what I was talking about. I wanted to pull a group or a list of Facebook groups. Or no, I want the data miner. Click over here and LinkedIn, or no, I want Facebook, my groups. So it's going to run that search on the page. Download this. And basically, if I was going to be doing this manually, it would take a very long time. But luckily, with stuff like this, I could do this in like a matter of a couple minutes. So it's got the name of the group, what's new in the group, and if you wanted to go check it out, it's got the direct URL. So that's just pretty cool to have right on hand. Like say, a lot of times we want to find employment groups for different cities. So say I wanted to find San Diego ones. If I didn't feel like scrolling through probably the thousands of groups that are listed in San Diego, I could pull this list, alphabetize it or whatever, filter it however you wanted to do it, but it's cool to have. Especially on the research side of things. So, like I said, probably not a day-to-day user for you guys, but I thought it was kind of cool to share.
Can you do that with LinkedIn groups as well, or is that only Facebook?
Nope, you can do it on any web page as long as you can figure it out. Like I've been trying to figure it out on a couple of different websites, like one for layoffs, but I can't figure it out and it drives me nuts. So it takes a lot of like tinkering and toying with, but yeah, once you get the hang of it, you can figure it out decently well. Like I think you would handle it pretty well.
I'm just thinking for updates with hiring managers. I mean, some of the minutia of that is putting that together on everything that you're doing in different groups, and
Yep.
you could go in and quickly say there are 25 groups in supply chain.
Right.
So,
No, yeah. Cool. And moving on to the next one, Adblock, pretty self-explanatory. I think the next question quite a few of these are going to be a little bit self-explanatory, but if you don't have some sort of an ad blocker on Chrome, I highly recommend it just because it's just going to get rid of a lot of nuisances. You can actually adjust this. So say, let's go, I don't know, recruiting daily. So right now it's blocking 13, like not necessarily pop-ups, but ads of different sorts, like it'd be on the sides or pop-ups of different sorts. But you can actually click in. If you want to view them, you can. You can actually pause it on a particular page, or it can run on a particular domain. You can kind of pick and choose what you want it to do, but it's just good to have overall. It'll save you a lot of headaches.
You can also speed up your browser.
I would imagine, because you're a lot less of that stuff. There's actually another one. It's not on this list of ones that I'm sharing, but I just recently got it. It's called like Ghostery, I think. And another one that's kind of creepy. Every website you go on, it shows how many different trackers are on that website tracking your information. And you can actually manipulate whether or not you want that, shared.
You can actually do something like that data miner one that you had on people's Facebook too, and put their information in there and track where they've been and what sites they're interested in.
Great. And by the way, I'm a good kind of stalker, like the healthy kind, like the professional kind. Number 5, I'll try to speed up through the next couple of ones because they're pretty self-explanatory. But eText, it's actually, I'll show it firsthand because it's pretty cool. Basically, it's like a web-based texting service, but it'll actually like work through your phone, and you can have you can see a virtual version of your phone on the screen. So say obviously you don't want to be sitting at your desk chit-chatting all day just texting, but say you got an important message or something coming through, it'll actually pop up in your notifications over here. When you get a text, you can actually pop over to the tab, type it out as if you're writing in a Word document, and you never have to touch your phone. You can just respond, jump back into what you're doing. It's nice to have. It's actually a nice way to at times reaching out to candidates first time. I've actually used it successfully like a half dozen times with the little bit I've already used it.
That'll probably be something good for the HSS team.
Yes.
When they're confirming the interviews and saying, reminder,
Will you use your phone number?
better show your ass up today.
Yeah, you don't want to use
Text
your
now,
cell phone
similar.
number.
Will it use your
So
phone
it's
number, or
not
can you use
your
your fake
phone
number?
number, it's a made-up phone number?
I'd have to go back and check. I think mine for sure is through my phone, but you could probably have where it's just like a generated number type of thing.
That's the nice thing with text now. So if Morgan, for example, is working in California, she could put in a California area code.
Right.
And text now will allow her to do texting via her computer or their phone.
Right. I know we're going to be moving forward soon with HSS with a service called Text Recruit, and I think that's going to be expanding, but they have that capability.
Okay.
So yeah, that's going to be something we're going to be using. And again, this is free. It's just kind of a convenient thing to have on hand when you're at a desk for 40 hours a week. This one's called Modern New Page, and you've actually already seen it like a half dozen times. It's basically when you open a new tab, you can set tiles to websites that you use often. Instead of just using bookmarks up here and trying to find it in a list, because I have a ton of those too. But these are just like my most frequently visited sites, and they're just all, click of a button. So this is probably 90% of the sites I use. So it's nice to have on hand as well. RSS feed. Does anybody know what an RSS feed is? Or does anyone, show of hands? Oh, okay, only one. So yeah, RSS feed. It's really, really basic concept. So say you have a half dozen blog sites that you'd like to follow in recruiting or what have you. So say the ERE Media, here's one. These guys have articles released every day. And then you have like Recruiting Daily. So say you wanted to keep up on these two, which I do. And you don't want to pop into their website every single day to see what's new and newly posted. You'll have a little feed up here, and you can add websites like this to your feed, and it'll pop up with notifications every time there's a new article. So say you haven't checked the site in a week, you can pop in and you can even see from a glance if it's going to be something you want to even read. A lot of these are just like human resources ones that don't necessarily apply to recruiting sometimes. So you can just click those off that you don't want to read it, or you can just click in and see the article. You can do this for a lot of stuff. I have it set for Bureau of Labor Statistics for different unemployment and various different things that reports come out. There's ways of doing it with like layoff notices, things like that. A lot of relevant stuff that would work out for you. And yeah, even stuff in your personal life as well. If you follow some sort of like, I don't know, Pinterest or Etsy group or...
Can you set it up to notify you anytime, like, a certain company's in a news article or anything like that?
That, you can do that with a Google alert.
Probably easier than that.
Yeah. And I'm sure there's an extension for it, yes. Got it, probably. I know Chris likes to, he finds a lot of things Pinteresting. So, Social Fixer, this one's actually kind of cool because it's both usable, definitely used in professional and private. So the professional point of this is you can actually, while you're viewing Facebook, you can pick and choose what you want to see, like beyond not just how it's laid out, but you can filter out. If you never want to hear Donald Trump's name again, you can type Donald Trump and you will never see a post
Oh, I need that.
ever again.
Everybody's right.
Or, yeah, anything. You can set it for anything. And you can make it to where, you know, all the stuff on the left-hand side, all your selections, that'll go away. It can be as basic as just, like, posts and where there's no comments, nothing. You can make it as full or as, you know, empty as you'd like. But basically, the point of it is, for recruiting, is just to get past all the BS and you can see what you're looking for. But in personal life, if you really don't want to hear about, I don't know, BGSU's next football game that they've been talking about for a month, whatever, you can block it forever. So it's kind of nice. Yeah. So when it comes next time for around election time, if you want to keep that completely off your plate, you can do so. And the last one I have for you guys, it's called Intelligence Search. It's by a guy named Shane McCusker. He's kind of a big deal in the sourcing world, but that's not, you know, it's a small niche world, but this guy's kind of a big deal. So he does a lot of software development, and what he's done here is he's made a little extension where you can search for people on different social media platforms right here. So say I'm looking for a person who lives in Sacramento and their job is nurse. Let's say registered nurse. Yeah, right.
It's a good shot.
So you click search,
Sacramento, you're trying to put salt in the wound.
and this will bring up everybody they can find that lives in Sacramento.
No, she's hired.
Is she?
No.
Oh, I think you're being serious. That was something you could talk to. Yeah, it'll bring up everybody that lists that they live in Sacramento and that they work as a registered nurse. This is limited to what they put on their profile. You know, some people work at None Your Business, LLC, or whatever. So it's not going to bring up every result, but it's going to give you a good idea, and it's a good, quick way to do it. It'll allow you to do it on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, and this page has actually got a bunch of like explanation videos from him explaining how to use the tool better, you know, more efficiently and what have you. So yeah, that rounds out my list of most used. This was where I was going to do the group exercise, but I did forget to ask anyone to bring that information, so we'll just...
Well, you could use your last extension that you just pulled up, grab a random name. So,
Let's do that.
I could find me continuous improvement manager while we're in here.
Great. Let's go.
Right now.
Yeah.
5, and other phone numbers and emails.
Let's try Chris's impossible position here. Let's do... Lives where, Chris?
Danville, Virginia.
Way in Danville.
No, they're gonna have to be in like
First of all.
Salem or.
We'll just try. And his job works as a continuous improvement. What?
Are they looking for?
What would you do, Chris, if this pulls somebody up? I'm not saying it's going to. I'm just saying, what would you do?
If you screen.
Wah, wah, wah. But you get the idea. If it was a little more like, let's say,
Performance process supervisor in Portland?
let's do retail.
Industrial maintenance mechanic in Portland?
Product launch engineer,
Well, I am looking in Danville still.
tooling development process engineer.
And Danville is pretty small.
Listen, you
Yeah.
fancy people.
I was trying to give him a nice simple search so he could show us how the tools work.
Look for security officers.
So I think this lady,
Search for guard cards.
Probably gonna get more hits.
Ask them if they want to touch dead bodies.
That is awesome.
oh, actually, I'll show you guys one
Better when
more.
I hear Mark say it.
I'll show you another one I found. Actually, I think it's just a website, but it's, if you want to see the creepier side of things, it's called Stalkface.
Sounds like it.
So, I'll do, who wants to,
Stalk someone?
would anybody like to volunteer their profile?
Chris Van.
Right up until you said
Yeah, do
stalk
Chris.
thing. Like,
You want
good luck
Chris?
finding
Yeah.
Christopher Smith.
Or
Yeah.
His name is easier to spell than mine.
I want to do hers. Hold on. Well, surprisingly, I'm used to yours now. Was it Lofton?
I don't remember.
You don't.
You don't remember your maiden name?
No, I remember a Facebook name. Like, yes, it is. Yes.
There's little Ellen.
Yes?
That's my baby.
All right, so what you would do, I'll show you what it can do. Copy somebody's Facebook URL into the site, click stalk.
Mine's just gonna say, he's been searching offensive memes for the last 300 days.
Right.
Have a good first day so far.
Yeah,
How do you want to stalk some folks?
we'll do it
By the way, as soon
efficiently.
as you guys leave, we'll be filling this out.
So, yeah.
I'm gonna head start to go fix your profile.
This will actually bring up all the following. It'll bring up photos of hers, photos that she's been tagged in, photos that she's commented on, that she's liked, events that she's been to. Let's see if she's been to an event lately.
You do my work Facebook one, that one's gonna be more appropriate, the other one's just gonna be
Probably get
Yeah, don't
photos.
stop.
very offensive memes.
So yeah, here we have her, beautiful family. But yeah, you get the idea. If you're actually trying to find somebody that's, part of an association or a board or something, if you can actually find, sometimes you can get this kind of stuff and it actually leads you somewhere. So it's not always
You can
used.
visit the places they went to.
Exactly.
They get coffee at the Starbucks. Drop their like, you want a job?
How's your kid doing? No.
Chris is drunk here, Chris is drunk there, Chris is drunk here. Chris is having drinks with friends over here.
Same.
But yeah, basically that's all I really had prepared for you guys. We're pretty much running out of time anyway that I allotted for it. But did you guys have any questions overall or anything? Or I know I was going pretty fast, but I was trying to cover a lot of ground in a little bit of time. It's cool if there is no questions, but
A link that an app that I have found helpful within recruiting is Grammarly.
yes, very good. Grammarly is a good one to have if you're sending correspondence
If you're
to.
sending correspondence or
Anyone, really.
posting a job, it will read through it for you to make sure that there are no spelling or grammar.
Oh, I need that.
Yes.
I do that in life.
So is that,
It's a free app, but it's awesome.
And we're still talking here, but did anybody on the phone have any questions?
Just for anything.
It's everything online.
No.
It's not going to work on.
Could you guys hear me
Outlook, but
decently
it's
well throughout the,
if you're doing anything on
presentation?
LinkedIn, if you're doing anything on
Yeah, we came in clear.
it's
Okay,
going
good.
to spell check.
Did you guys learn anything?
Yeah, a few things actually.
Okay, excellent. Yeah. But yeah, I would let you guys go if you don't have any questions.
Would it look through webmail since webmail's
All right, have a good one.
Thanks, guys. You too.
Don't